Hello there. Welcome back to Roberto's Piano Tips. I'm sorry that it's been so long since the last time that I was able to give you some tips, but I was on vacation, and nothing says summer like vacation. But let's get back into it. If you remember from the last video we had, we talked about the C chord and how we can move between the C chord, among the C chord, the A minor chord, the F chord, and the G chord. Now, it sounds complicated, but if you practiced, you were able to do this. So today we're going to continue on with the C chord and all the wonderful things we can do with it. What we're going to talk about right now is being able to move around with your chords without having to jump all over the place on your keyboard. Let me explain. So for example, if you were going from C to F, normally you would play C, E, G, and then you would keep that basic construction and move instead of from the C all the way up to the F, like this. And then, if we wanted to go back to C, we would go all the way down like this. Now, most people when they're learning to play the piano, that's probably the most complicated thing to have to do. Having to move your hand without looking at your hand, going from C all the way up to F and back down. But I'm here to tell you today that you don't have to make it that complicated. Basically, let's look at the structure of each one of those two chords. Now we're going to go slowly, of course, but let's just look at the structure of these two chords. The first chord, C chord, is spelled like this. C, skip a note, E, skip a note, and G. And there's your C chord. Now, if we were going to the F chord, the F chord is constructed like this. F, then A, then C. So it has the same structure of skipping every other note just like the C chord, but we're starting on our pinky with the F chord, with the F note rather, going up to F, A, C. So if you look at this chart that I have here, you'll see that you have the C, E, G, and then the F, A, C. But do you notice we have one note that's the same in both chords, the C note. So instead of playing F, A, C in this manner, you can take the C, keep it from the previous chord, and play C, F, A. Now this is not a C chord. This is still an F chord because it's still spelled F, A, C, except we just took the C and put it at the bottom. So you will have these two chords now, C, E, G, and then C, F, A. So instead of having to jump from C to F, we can just stay in a similar area and play just like that. Okay? So let's do something simple using those two chords to kind of practice doing those. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the C, we're going to play just the pinky, and then the two notes at the top. And we're going to go back and forth with them just like this. And then we're going to do the same thing with the C, F, and A. Now, people always ask me, what fingers do I use? Well, I'm going to go contrary to what you might hear from your other piano teachers. And I'm going to say, it really doesn't matter what fingers you use, as long as it's comfortable. Because fingering, which is what we call it, placing the fingers in a certain spot, really, in a great scheme of things, doesn't matter. It's good habit to get in a less complicated finger style, but in the long term, depends on what song you're playing, how you finger it. So if I'm going to do, my thumb, my middle finger, my pinky, and keep my thumb, middle finger, and pinky, that might be comfortable for you. Or switching from your thumb, middle finger, and pinky to your thumb, your pointer finger, and your pinky might be even more comfortable. So just depends on what's very comfortable for you. Okay, so let's try that. Back and forth. Okay? Now, this whole time we were just working on our left hand. On the right hand, we're not going to do anything yet. We're going to practice just getting your coordination in your left hand working. And then next week, we're going to work on what the right hand can do at the same time. So, go ahead and practice. And before you know it, you'll have this.